I guess I was a minute late. Oh, okay. So, all right. So we're recording now. Everybody, welcome to the Redpreneur Show, episode 2. What did I name this show?
And we're good. We're done.
Culture. Yeah, Culture Biz, right? Hong Kong edition, right? I kind of like the whole like Hong Kong edition thing where it's like, you know, kind of like getting like a mixtape.
I like it. It's got a little Anthony Bourdain feel to it, you know, parts unknown, Hong Kong edition.
Ryan, you're a little bit low.
Maybe if I do this on my laptop.
Your volume's a little bit low. You sound like
my volume's low. Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound a little far away.
Yeah, I'm on these AirPods, so I'll let me see if I can. I'm just worried that if I change the audio to my laptop microphone, you're gonna get a bunch of background noise. So let me see.
Yeah, we definitely will. But
yeah.
It's just a heads up. I mean, it's not too bad.
All right. Let me try. Is it different, better or worse? Same?
Way more clearer.
Okay, let's try that.
Nope.
Now we got a delay.
Yeah, we'll try it. Yeah, now there's a delay. Yeah.
Oh, there's a delay.
Maybe
I'll just change it back then.
Yeah, you just can't win, man.
It's dubbed like the Hong Kong edition. It's like the old.
Exactly. It gets better. Trust me, it's gonna get better. Yeah. Okay.
Jesus.
All right. I've just toggled back to my headphones. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah. We'll just work with that. I mean, you have like pretty good internet in Hong Kong, right? It's like 400 megabits per second or something like that.
Yeah. It's pretty solid.
Not from what we're seeing on our end.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
We'll work with it, man. It's all right. It's all good.
Is it just the audio? I mean, is the video coming through pretty good or what?
Actually, now it looks like it's synced.
Well, it kind of looks like, we're watching one of those, like, back in the 1980s when you watch like an Asian film and then the sound doesn't match up to the action on screen.
I see. Yeah. So it's probably
so you're doing straight up like
kung fu.
You're keeping it real.
Let me see if I can connect to a different. Real quick.
It's all right, dude. We got time, man. Like, go ahead and work out your audio issues. In the meantime, while Ryan's trying to fix that, today's episode is about cultural business, right? So like I brought Ryan on because he lives in Hong Kong. He started a business there. He started a I don't know what you would say, like a fitness gym in Hong Kong. He's originally from the US. He lived in Las Vegas. I've known Ryan for like 19 years, something like that. So he's been in Hong Kong for 8 years. His core expertise is helping clients in life, using a kind of like a deep health approach, which, looks at how food, movement, environment, relationships, and connection all influence our neurobiology and our physiology, right? There he goes. He's gone. So at first he started like doing like a fitness gym, right? Like personal training kind of stuff. And then he started getting more into like I said, like the neurobiology and physiology and things like that. So like he knows what he's talking about. Let me bring him back in. I think he's waiting for me. There we go. You in?
Can you hear me okay? I'm not.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you, but maybe just turn your video off. We'll just do off. Because you're just in an eternal blink right now.
An eternal blink. My computer is not liking this now. Of course, when we go live,
Yeah,
Murphy's Law, right?
only when we go live. I mean that's just Murphy's Law.
Let's see. It's slowly coming to. It's weird. It's like now my video is popping up, but then I can see my eternal blink that you talked about.
Uh-huh.
I can see you guys.
Oh, there he goes. Episode 2, folks. This is episode 2. We're still working out all the bugs and kinks and issues and things like that. Yeah, the last thing I wanted to point out is that he loves eating fish tacos. Who doesn't? I don't like fish. Just saying. And then we have our very handsome with his beard, Nick Berry. Love your beard, man. I can't say that enough.
It's a beard. And
it's
the funny thing.
A great beard.
I grew it out of spite.
What? What do you mean?
So the whole beard, like, I don't know, like when we first met, I didn't have a beard. My ex-wife hated beards.
Uh-huh.
The day that I told her I wanted a divorce, I'm like, I'm growing a beard.
Yeah. Do you think she hated not just the beard, but she just hated you, and that's why she hated the beard?
Maybe, but
yeah, we won't.
No, I'm not gonna dive into that. But so that's like I literally just the day after I told her I wanted a divorce, I'm like, I'm gonna grow a beard and just stop shaving. Yeah,
dude, it suits you, man. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm much more attractive with it than without it. I don't think my daughter would like it. It's been 4 years. I've had it for 4 years. I don't think my 7-year-old would recognize me without it.
Yeah. Have you seen those like videos where the dad has a beard and the daughter has seen him like the whole time, and then somebody shaves it and she's like freaking out, you know?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of those.
All right, guys, I'm back just with audio now, so let's maybe see how this goes.
Yeah, dude, that works, man. No, so I ended your intro with saying that you love fish tacos.
Oh gosh, what a way to start this! Yes, fish tacos.
Yeah,
I bet Hong Kong fish tacos are way better than rural Iowa fish tacos.
You know, they're getting there. I think for the first 7 years that I was here, they were. I mean, it was awful, just awful. But now you've got some people that have come here from, parts of California, even parts of Mexico, and they're just like leveling this shit up. I mean, nice. But you're paying for it, like guacamole. I mean, you're paying like what's table side guacamole. Extra. You're gonna pay like $20 US, for a guy to come by and like make it for you, and you're like, you're not Mexican. Like, so yeah.
So Ryan, I went over a little bit of the the bio, over like what you do in the neurobiology and physiology. Do you mind like starting off with how you or why you picked Hong Kong and how you started your business there?
Okay, so why I picked Hong Kong? Well, Hong Kong just sort of, obviously, Gideon, you and I go back quite a ways, but prior to this, for the listeners who don't know me, prior to this, I was prior to Hong Kong, I was traveling and working abroad on large commercial cruise lines. So these cruise lines had anywhere from small cruise lines, 1,500 to the large superliners, like 6,000 passengers. It was just insane. So I was traveling the world for about 3.5 years on and off, on contract basis, working as a lecturer. And Asia was sort of like the next stop for me. I hadn't been to Asia up to that point, and I've been all over the world, and had built quite a good network. And it was like, okay, well, let's see. And at the time, I had a lot of compelling reasons to go there, to go to Asia, and I think Hong Kong was a good starting point for me. Considering that it's so sort of mixed, internationally, and it's sort of a melting pot, but it's also really easy in terms of coming into Asia, being that I think it's like 80% of the people here speak English. So, as a just sort of a hub to sort of, puddle jump over to the different Asian countries here, like it's an awesome place to be. It's an awesome place to start a business. It's actually relatively easy to start a business here. Not easy in terms of getting, say, a visa. In terms of sponsorships, you either have to be sponsored, or you'll have to apply for an investment visa to sponsor yourself. But in terms of the actual registration, like registering a business, creating a business name, actually, it's quite simple. I mean, it's almost as simple as just walking to 7-Eleven and paying your registration fee, and you're good to go. So
seriously, like, is it easier than starting one in America?
Is it easy?
Hey,
I'm going to try the video here. I've never actually started a business in America, so I don't know. I mean, I can speak on behalf of, I think, a lot of the friends that I had that run businesses there in our industry, and I know it's just been, they've had their struggles, and it's been a nightmare for some in terms of just registering and creating the business, getting everything, sort of the paperwork, and it's just a very old, crude, archaic way of getting things done there. Whereas here, it's just like you can do it pretty much all online. You print out a little slip, a registration slip, and you can literally take it to a 7-Eleven and pay the fee for your registration, and then you're sort of like legitimate, you're official after that.
Hey, is it true? Like, so I heard that, like, in Japan, like, you can, like, you pay your rent at like 7-Elevens. Is that the same like in Hong Kong?
Yeah,
like you just pay your rent there.
Yeah, in terms what, like your commercial rent or your residential rent?
Yeah. Well, I heard residential. Like in Japan, you just go to the 7-Eleven. It's like, here, you bring in your slip or your QR code. They scan your QR code. You just pay them, and then like you get to pay it there.
Yeah, okay. So Hong Kong, I don't know about Japan, but Hong Kong, absolutely, you can pay your utilities, electricity, water, gas. There's a lot of stuff you can pay at 7-Eleven here. I mean, you can pick up your IKEA shipments at 7-Eleven here. Like it's pretty full on, man. But I guess in a city like this, you've got just density on top of density, like people stacked on top of people. Like you need to have convenience like this. I mean, look at the mass transit rail here, the subway system, and I mean, it's incredible. You have to find a way to be able to make things efficient and quick, and Hong Kong is efficient. I will say one thing that we're spoiled here is that everything is just so efficient. Everything is so quick. And when I go back to the U.S., I have to readapt. I have to adapt to that to the pace of things. It's very normal for me to get called out by my friends, saying like, "God, you walk so fast." When I come home, I'm like, "Oh, wow!" Like it's true. I mean, everything. You walk faster here. Things move faster here. Your food is delivered quicker here. Like everything, and you just spoiled. It's just normalized.
Yeah. Okay, so part of the topics for the show was like you're in Hong Kong and you've had to deal with one major pandemic and like one minor one with like the Hong Kong riots that happened last year, right? Like, how has that like affected your business?
I mean, it in general, when it comes to like the protests, the riots, like I'm just not interested in it. But but it affects everything, right? And it affected my business. It affected a lot of my friends' businesses, because a lot of it was happening in the heart of Hong Kong, or the heart of the central business district. So that was just a huge blow to a lot of the F&B, a lot of the service oriented businesses in that area. Retail was hit probably the hardest. But in terms of just my business, we were at times just 2 streets down from where a lot of the action, a lot of the stuff was going down. The tear gas, the riot control, the police, and a lot of the large demonstrations. So I think I'm trying to remember when all this sort of went down. I think it was mid last year. I want to say June or July. It was like a steady 6 months of just a constant, sort of anxiety and fear and stress around that. And I think I really started to feel it personally, like I would say like in October, it started to get to me. And it wasn't because business was slow or anything. It's just it was just the tension I would feel when I was walking out in the street. And it was just that general cloud of anxiety that was just hanging over the city. And I think it started to really punctuate a lot of, my sort of mental and emotional real estate. And it was starting to affect me too. Amongst obviously a lot of the clients that I was working with as well, which the majority of my work really is working with stress and trauma and how that manifests itself, with eating or exercise or diet or our body composition, whatever. It started to affect me, I'd say, around October. But I think you'd be hard pressed to find a business that wasn't affected by it. And I think some more than others. And I think it was certainly like a pressure cooker situation for a lot of local businesses. Like, does your business have the systems in place to be able to sustain this blow? Or is your business just built on smoke and mirrors, and are you just going to collapse? So that was really the first blow. And then COVID hit end of December and January. And it was like, that was just the second blow. And it was just like, oh, okay, it's like we're going to strap in for a little while here. And then we saw what was happening up north in China. I had guys up in law enforcement, first responders up in Shanghai in China that were like, man, this is bad. Like, you need to go back. You need to go back home. And I'm like, really? It's that bad? And yeah, this is like, you need to get back to your family, Ryan. Like, this is going to be pretty bad. And then, I mean, I smile here because it's just kind of interesting how this has transpired up to now. But like 3 months later, now people are like, don't go to the U.S., stay there. Like, people go to Hong Kong. It's like one of the safest places to be. Yeah. And it's just like, geez, like, God, that just got wild. That just changed, like, seemingly overnight within one quarter. So it's been a wild ride, man. So yeah, good talk.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question, though, in terms of like how the protests, these things. It's like, I mean, I can go into the fine details, the intricacies, but it was a difficult time. It was a difficult time, but it was a test, and it was, again, an opportunity. And it's the same sort of way that I look at it, with the same sort of lens that I look at it now. It's an opportunity, and it's full of possibility. And I think it's important for me every day to remind myself of the differences between opportunities and possibilities, and what things there are there for us right now as a business, but as a human being, and maybe we can talk more about that in this call.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see where this goes. It just kind of reminds me, like, because I was like, God damn, dude, like, when the riots were happening, right? And I was like, oh shit, Ryan's in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he hasn't called me yet, so I think he's okay. And then and we talk like once a month or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the whole COVID-19 started happening. I was like, God damn, dude, like, this is so bad. Like, at first, like, I didn't really think much of it, like, okay, well, it's out there in China.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm good, don't gotta worry about it, right?
Right.
And then this whole thing started happening. And it's like, well, America got shut down, like, just left and right. And so it kind of reminded, like, I saw this meme. Oh geez, it's like Billy Mays.
Yep.
Wait, there's more.
Oh my God, it was fucking hilarious. Where'd it go?
Billy Mays. Is Billy Mays, correct me if I'm wrong, is Billy Mays the guy that was doing like the infomercials or whatever? The different okay,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
Wait, there's more.
2020 every second. Yeah. There's always more, dude. And I was like, God, dude, like, and how much further is this gonna go? It's like, there's always more.
There's always more.
There's always more.
I know, but it seems like this year, it's like, dude, like, none of us have lived through something like this before, right? And neither have our parents, right? I mean, this is not something you've seen since like the 1920s depression, right?
I'd say, you
Nick?
know, based on what I've read about the polio pandemic,
Oh.
the epidemic of polio, it was a similar, like, they didn't know, they knew it came in waves in the spring and summer when it was hot, and that's when the polio hit kids and the elderly. But that's probably the closest, but like nothing got, like they weren't even shutting pools down, and that's where they were like identifying the main source. You know.
Well, it's like when SARS or H1N1 came around, right? Like we didn't shut down all these games or events or you know like Disneyland. You know,
yeah,
like
it isolated itself though. It was fairly isolated in regions. It wasn't as widespread. Like there weren't 10,000 Americans that died from SARS or MERS, or even H1N1 probably the closest.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, dude. I don't know how many people you're interacting with. Yeah, Ryan, I'm sure like being in Hong Kong with considering how tight the spaces are, and Hong Kongers don't, or what would you call them? Hong Kongians?
Hong Kongers.
Hong Kongers.
Hong Kongers.
Like
Honkers.
Honkers.
I don't really know actually. What do they call Vegas natives? Vegans?
Vegans, yeah, Las Vegans, yeah.
Veganites.
Right? Veganites, yeah.
Veganites, yeah. Well, like in Hong Kong, like there's like no sense of personal space, right?
Yeah. It's a challenge, yeah.
So what I'm saying is like, okay, so like, our cleaners is still open 6 days out of the week, and I'm there every day, and I meet like at least 20 people a day. Ever since this whole thing has been going on, and I don't know, dude, like I don't wear a face mask at work. I'm just saying, like, have you guys met anybody that's caught it?
I have friends of friends locally.
Friends of friends.
Yeah.
But
I know like my wife and her, like the town I live in, I've only lived here a few years, and I'm not like, I don't socialize in town, so I know my wife and her friends.
Yeah. Well, you don't socialize in general, do you, Nick?
Nick, where are you located at?
So I live in rural Iowa. The company I work for is in Des Moines, Iowa, the capital, but I live like 45 minutes out of town.
Okay.
In a rural town called Newton. I mean, I socialize, but it's like my daughter was making fun of me because I was complaining about being like, I consider myself like a hybrid extrovert. I'm an extrovert at work. I'm an extrovert when I need to be, but after hours, I'm like, just leave me alone.
I think that's a normal response, man.
Yeah. Like I'm dealing with salespeople and sales director and a CEO, and everybody's telling me all the things they want. At the end of the day, I'm just like, I need to shut my brain off and not talk to people for, give me an hour.
Yeah,
I think I have that commute.
That's just like a healthy response, man.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Oh, okay. This one's like I really love this topic because I don't know. Like I think Nick and I can go on like for days talking about this. I know this is kind of off topic. Well, actually, it'd be kind of interesting in seeing how like Asian people like dealing with a different culture base, right? Because like in America, it's so like how to deal with like shitty clients or customers, right?
Yeah.
I would assume. Well, obviously, like I've been to Korea, and it's like you don't treat customers the same way you treat them here in America. And then a lot of people in America think they need to be treated like royalty, like they should be treated in Asia, but
they're not.
Well, we don't necessarily have to treat them the same way that culturally wise here than we do in Asia. So, Ryan, I'd be interested to kind of get your take on that, like dealing with shitty people and what you do with them.
I just don't have time for shitty people. I mean, no. I mean, to be honest, like, I don't know. Maybe I can suggest a reframe. Like, I look at it more of like, okay, so maybe 10 years ago, you know, when I was in the U.S. and you know, having a very limited knowledge and unusual success that I did at that time, I would have had a very different answer, and probably would have more or less looked at it as like, oh yeah, you know, it's these. I'm just attracting these shitty customers or these shitty clients and this and that. And while I do think there are people out there that that can be shitty and wake up shitty and feel shitty, and they'll bring that and just vomit that on everyone around them.
Yeah.
I think I can speak as a business owner in terms of my experience here. I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, how I'm framing, how I'm positioning myself to the world. You know, how I'm showing up for myself in order to better sort of show up for those that I want to serve. So I sort of look at it as like, okay, well, if I'm attracting or if certain clients are coming to me, it's the same, no difference in a way of like when we look at like relational psychology, like who am I attracting and who am I attracted to? I think it's a dance, it's a tango of two people, right? Like, and so what role am I playing? How am I represented in the eyes to these people? You know, what am I for them? What am I to them? And I think, so if I have a client that's coming to, or a customer that's client to me that is just, again, I just put like shitty, or they're just real difficult to work with, like, what role am I playing in this? Like, is there a part of me, or is there something in my business that is speaking to this type of client, right? So, and I think looking back early in my career, I think I had a lot of experience with that simply because I wasn't being honest. I wasn't being honest with, I guess, what it is that I was passionate about doing, and what it really took to get, say, X, Y, and Z sort of outcomes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I guess I can give you an example. So, like, we live in a world nowadays where like people expect things to just come easy, right? Like, especially here in Hong Kong, everything is very accessible, everything's very convenient. And I think when it comes to like my industry early on, it was like, okay, well, in my industry, all you hear is like, just follow this workout program or this 30-day thing or this diet, and you'll lose some weight, right? Or just go to the gym 3 times a week and you'll get strong. And yet we still find that clients are still finding a way to fail, right? So they come in, we get frustrated, they're frustrated because they're like, I'm paying you my money and I'm not getting the results I want. And up to that point, like, I've given them like probably everything that I can. I've given them the support, I've given them the program, the motivational garbage, you know, like via text message, like whatever that is. And yet there still seems to be like this disconnect, right? Like there's this misalignment. So the reality was like, okay, well, if they're showing up, they're doing everything that I've asked them to do, but they're still not getting the results that they want, or they're still not getting the outcomes they want.
You're just fat.
Then there's obviously something that there's obviously a disconnect with the way that I'm showing up. There's obviously something else there, right? Because they're doing everything in a way that I've asked them to do, right? So what this came down to was realizing that I failed early on to tell them the hard truth from the start. And I love this podcast, or this thing you're doing now, because it's all about like the red pill, the blue pill, like choosing to say what is right over what is comfortable without fear of the outcome. Like, I love that. And that's really sort of like one of the basic principles now that I really try to live my life on, and trying to live a life of honesty and integrity. But I think the truth is, as a business owner, I think the more honest we can be, like upfront, like really upfront, like, look, this is what it's going to take. You want these outcomes. I'm going to need this. You're going to have to show up this many times a week. You're going to have to do this with your nutrition diet. And I'm going to be there along the way. It's going to be difficult, and you are going to fall and you are going to struggle, but I'm going to be there, same sort of thing alongside. And if I can give them, and if they can hold that truth, if they can receive that sort of honesty up front, and if I can sit with that discomfort of being that honest and upfront with them, I think their results and the outcomes that they want are going to be far more achievable than if I was to lie to them early on because I'm afraid I'm going to lose the customer. And that's really what's driving all of this. Is I'll tell them, like, yeah, you can get these results, and maybe just train 2-3 times a week, and maybe just cut out this and eat more of this, and you'll get good results, right? But really, what does it take? It will take some if they want great results and they want these things, they're going to have to work out 5 times a week. They're going to have to eat more protein. They're going to have to do these things very specifically. And if I can't tell them these things early on because of my own inability to sit with discomfort, then you know what I mean? Then of course they're going to be disappointed. Of course they're going to be shitty. Of course they're going to be frustrated with me, right? They just spent like 12 weeks of their life with me and I failed, you know what I mean? Like, and they come 12 weeks and they're like, I didn't get what you said I would. Why? You know? So I guess what I'm saying here is that I've realized in my life that I was, especially early on with my clients, that I was complicit in perpetuating a story that clients had. And I wanted to live a life that was different. And I wanted to live a life of honesty and integrity. And if I wasn't honest with these clients up front in the beginning, then the long-term outcomes of them being frustrated with me or end up losing the client or whatever it was, that was all on me. That was all on me. That was on my ass. Mm-hmm. So, I
want to kind of reiterate that. Like, so I work for a SaaS company. We sell software to insurance agencies. And
just real quick, like for anybody that doesn't know what a SaaS means,
software as a service.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
I have to do it. There are some people who just don't know.
Yeah. So we sell software to insurance agencies, and one of the things that so we have salespeople, we have a sales team, and we have account managers, and our account managers are amazing, and our salespeople are amazing. What we were really finding as we scaled, as we got more customers and more customers, is we were not setting the expectations up front with the customer. Like and this is the problem I have with customers. Like, I've been in sales and marketing for 20 years. Okay. 18 years. 2002 is when I got out of the Air Force. So 18 years. Customers don't fucking listen. You can set the expectations, you can train them, and you can do all this stuff. But it takes repetition of repeating what those expectations were, and having good documentation and notes for everybody involved with the sales process and the account management process to understand this is what this customer wants, but this is what we do. Now, what they want is a part of what we do, but we need to get them to buy into the holistic thing of what we do to get their result. But we also have a lot of customers who oftentimes are making logical decisions based on emotional responses. And that's human nature. That's just how humans are. We had one customer who came in through our chat line and was super pissed about how the card pricing works for our handwritten card technology. And the account manager was like, I don't know what to do with this. And our salesperson jumped in the chat and was like, do you have time for a call? They got on the call, and it turns out this dude was going through all this personal stress, and it was just leaking into his entire business. And so we basically just said, hang on, let's take a step back from your cards. We're going to turn the cards off. We're going to keep the rest of the software working. But let's take a step back until you can decompress some of that stress that's in your personal life and taking over everything, every thought in your brain. Then we'll come back to the cards. Now the guy's doing 100 cards a month, which is like $300 or $400 in monthly revenue for us. Had we gone to the initial, let's just make him happy, he would have canceled.
Yeah.
He would have said, I'm out of here.
Right.
We took the time to figure out, okay, hang on, what's really going on? What's the underlying problem? Yeah. And it's super easy to just kind of disconnect and say, oh, this is a shitty customer. It's the easy route. But most of the time it's our fault.
Absolutely.
We did not set the expectations. We didn't frame it right up front. We didn't continue to beat it into their thick skull. These are the things we need to do, and do it gently, do it nicely. We don't have to, and have empathy for where they are, because I struggle with my customers because I'm a marketing technologist. My job is to literally be on the leading edge of technology and marketing. I struggle with our customers because I'm like, you want to set up Twitter lists? Hold on. We stopped doing that 5 years ago. What are you doing? Why do you want to do that?
I agree with you guys. You know, to an extent. I mean, I get it. And then at the same time, like, I don't know. Maybe, you know, I get the whole thing where like everybody says, well, my business is different. But then in reality, it's like, well, every business does the same thing, really, right? It's to generate revenue, right? Make customers happy, get more customers, generate revenue, right? But I don't know, man. Like I'm working in so many different industries, like with the dry cleaning industry, like people are shit. Like, fuck, man. Like they do not. They respect the gas station clerk more than they respect me. You know, because they'll go up to the clerk at the gas station and be like, "Hey, I want to put $20 on gas." Like, okay, you'll get $20 in gas. They come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I want to drop this off," and it's like, "Okay, it'll be $20." Like, well, can you do it for 15? And it's like, no.
Here's a comforter my dog threw up on.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't want to make this a
here's a $3,000 comforter that my dog threw up on. I don't want to pay more than $20 to get it cleaned.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's what it is, right?
But,
yeah. I don't know. I got stories. I mean, and I don't want to make this a show about all the stories. You know what I mean?
Fun.
Why not?
No, that's for the next show. Yeah, the next show we just share all our worst stories. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I'm happy that I'm in marketing now and not in sales. Because I just got like I go through periods of my life where I'm okay being in sales, and then I'm like, oh my god, everybody is stupid. I can't get away from all of these people. Like the last time I went back to IT, the last time I got sick of sales, I went into IT DevOps and admin ops. So I was a system admin. Like this was a certificate that I got while I was active duty Air Force, and I was like, oh yeah, I have that certificate. I can do this job just because I need to get the fuck away from people for a while. In sales, like, humans are they're meat robots.
Yeah.
It's just what they are, and it's just it's our job as sales and marketing to connect their underlying needs that they don't even know. They don't even really know what the problem is. You know, like I know I'm overweight. What's my underlying problem? I'm lazy. I don't have the motivation or desire. So, you know, it's hard for me to say, okay, I need to lose weight. I need to work out every day. I know I need to work out every day. I just don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a difference between knowing, right? Knowing what the issue is, and then you're like, you know what? I choose not to, right?
Yeah.
And there's other part where it's like, you know, you're stuffing your face with like, you know, your Dunkin' Donuts, and you're like, why does my heart hurt?
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a huge difference between that, right?
Yeah.
Well, why can't I walk? Well, why do I have to take these insulin shots? And it's like, well, you know, have you taken a look at your life lately?
Well, that's usually the tipping point, right? Like people will dance in the gray until they can't, until you don't let them anymore, right? And so that's where like that's the tipping point for a lot of people that come to us. You know, I've networked with a lot of clinicians here, and I work very closely with a lot of clinicians out here, and we've got a great little network in terms of how we work with each other. But that's generally it, right? It's that C-suite executive or that CEO that's just lived a lavish, extravagant life, and they're a cheeseburger away from a heart attack, and then they have they get some pressure one night in their chest, and they go to the doc, and that's the emotional felt sense. The first time probably in a decade that they've actually felt their body, right? And they're like, okay, this is it. This is the time to change, right? But I think to what Nick had said earlier, you know, made me think of like, having this very grown-up conversation with your customers. And I think seeing them where they are, like meeting where they are right now, as you said, like, I know I have to do exercise 5 times a week, or I know I have to do these things. It's just doing what I know. I'm choosing right now not to do it. Thank you for wasting for saving both of our times. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And because you saying no right now is allowing me to say yes to 10 other people that are, that do need that.
That's
right
a really
now.
good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think this type of behavior, these ways of people being uncommitted, really is because we are uncommitted at some level to ourselves to be able to say thank you, but also to have that open and honest conversation. We need to grow up ourselves to be able to sit in that discomfort with that client, to be like, that's okay that you're not ready to work out 5 times a week right now. Either A, what are you willing and able to do right now? And I can work with you with that. Or thank you, like, the door is open. Like, I will leave the light on for you. Like, if your situation should change, right? And again, that just means like having a more or less very grown up conversation with your client. I can guarantee you will get better clients. You will get more clients that appreciate your work if you're able to have that type of open and honest conversation with your client up front.
Yep. So one of the core tenets of our product is it's month to month. There's no long-term contracts, all of this stuff. We make it easy to cancel. Like, you don't even have to call in. You can go in, you can cancel your software all year long.
Nice.
What we found, and our customers come back 9 times, I'd say 70% of the time, our canceled customers, the ones that don't go out of business, that is.
Right.
So we make it easy to cancel, and we've always before you hit cancel, it even says, did you download your testimonials? Did you get your data out? Because it's your data. Make it easy to come back. We just implemented a pause option, so where they can put a deposit down. 50% of a monthly fee goes towards a deposit to save their data in the account. They can come back within 3 months, get that money credited back, so they only have to pay half for that month, the month they come back, and that if it's in 3 months. But we were like, why would we make it hard for people to cancel? That's just going to piss them off. Like, make it like, if somebody says, you know what, this isn't working anymore. I don't have, like, something came up in my business. I need to take a pause on this. If the company's not willing to say, okay, I respect you as a human being. I have some empathy for you, no matter what your situation. And if I disagree with you, I'm not going to be a dick to you when you cancel.
Right. That's okay. That's how we show up to these customers, right? In their time of need. What are they going through? Is it financially? Are they compromised? Emotionally, are they compromised? Absolutely, man. Like, I love this idea of, like, showing them out, like, with love, and showing them out with love, so that when they do think of you, when they do have that conversation with their friends, oh, that laundromat down the road, like, you got to go see Gideon, man. Like, that guy, he's the real deal. Like, he takes care of you. You know, he sees you where you at, and sees where you're at. Or Nick, down the road, same sort of thing. Like, how we show up to these people every day is huge. It's how they talk about us, and how they refer to it. Or, one thing that I talked to my team about the other day in our team meeting, we have a weekly team meeting, was like, the people that were firm no months ago, these people are like they are now a yes, because of all these factors in the past that did not allow them to show up, twice a week or 3 times a week, or start a gym program or start a fitness program. They were a hard no. Now they're a huge yes. They're like a fuck yes, because if it gets them out of the house with their kids, like, or, whatever it is, like, they are all for it. So like, everything has changed. Everything has shifted. The people that were previously a no are now a yes. And I think there's opportunities everywhere. You got to be able to look with with that sort of lens.
And it's funny. We had a customer. We had a customer that a personal friend who used our software, canceled, switched to our competitor. He's stuck in a 1-year contract with his competitor. I'm still getting referrals from him. He's one of my because he was like, these guys are they're so good to you. And then after the experience at the other place, he's like, I'm stuck here for a year. I'm going to keep paying it. As soon as my contract's up, I'm going back to Rocket Referrals. But he's referring other insurance agencies to us. He, like, the last trade show that we were able to go to, he was actually bringing people over and telling them, you need to sign up for a demo for this, even though he was using our competitor, which is about 6 aisles away. He was bringing them to us.
Yeah, that's funny because because I've had customers where like they didn't like our price, right? And they're like, they come in, they're like, well, how much do you guys charge? And it's like, oh, okay, well, it depends on the item, right? They're like, what do you mean? It's not like a straight up pricing for everything. I was like, no, we're not $1.99 cleaners, right?
This
And they're like,
Jimmy.
yeah, and they're like, well, how much is it? I'm like, okay, well, it's $250 for like laundry shirt, right? And they're like, $250? Are you crazy? Like the other places only charged me like 99 cents. And I was like, oh, cool, man. Like, why are you coming to us then? Like, you should go to them. Like, they're charging way less. And they're like, well, they're closed. It's like, huh? Wonder why.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, some people like, they've been coming to us for a while and they leave and they're like, this is bullshit, da da da. And it's like, okay, well, bye.
Yeah.
And then later on, they come back and they're like, I don't say anything. I'm just like, hey, and I just take it in close, like, just transaction is normal. I'm like, I don't like, like hit them in the ribs, be like, hey, dude, so it didn't work out, huh?
Yeah.
Like that new girl didn't work out for you. Like, told you she was crazy, man. Like,
yeah, it's just I've been I guess I get jaded, and then I get hope for humanity after dealing with some of my good customers, even some of the customers that have canceled that I still communicate with. Or I have one customer who uses us for a specific part of our product, which makes me sad because we're more than a couple features. And he switched to another company for their one of their features. I'm like, why did you switch? He goes, I like those guys. I'm like, you're paying them $300 a month for one feature that we have. You just didn't want to pay us more on top of your subscription fee, and it still would have been less than $300 a month. I'm just
You can't rationalize that, dude. You can't.
What's wrong with
you
your
can't
brain?
rationalize it for them. Yeah.
What's wrong with your brain?
I stopped trying to figure people out. Besides the basic like body language and profiling and like attitudes, I stopped trying to rationalize why people make certain decisions. Like I've had a couple of customers leave because they were complaining about some obscure thing that like we didn't even do, right? They're like, I don't want you tagging the tags on my clothes. I was like, well, how are we going to identify your clothes? And she's like, I don't care. I don't want you tagging it. And I was like, so you're saying
You want me to lose your clothes?
If we lose your clothes, we're not responsible. It's like, no. It's like, I want you to do my clothes. I just don't want you tagging it anymore. And I was like, she's like, why would you tag it? And I was like, we've been doing this for years. And she's been a long time customer, right? She's been with us for like 20 years, right? And it's funny because like the husband is fine with us. Husband is cool. He's like, I fucking love you guys. Met their sons, everything, seen them grown up and all that. And the wife just suddenly came out of nowhere. And she's like, well, you guys used to put the tags through the little buttonholes. Why can't you do that? And I was like, we've never done that. She's like, well, I disagree. And I was like, you can disagree all you want. I've been working here for fucking ever. Like, how are you going to argue with me when I'm here like every single day? And then after that, I was just like, man, people are just crazy. Some people are just crazy, and you can't rationalize with them, and you got to cut them out and just be like, you know what? Okay, here's your money back. I'm done. You don't like our service. What I tell everybody is like, look, we're not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Here's your money back. We're not a good fit for you. I'm sorry. I hope you find somewhere else that better fits your needs.
Hang on, I'm gonna go look something up. I'm pretty sure I still have an account that they went through my entire email follow up. They didn't like my breakup email, and then they complained to my boss.
Oh, that's funny.
And I emailed them back. I'm like, well, obviously, if you don't like the way that I communicate, this was when I was in the sales side of the business. If you don't like the way I communicate, obviously, this probably isn't a good fit.
Yeah.
Because you'll be dealing with me the entirety of your account.
Right.
And I think they're still a customer.
Oh, my God.
And that was like 18 months ago.
I get so curious with that stuff. You know, it's the stuff that triggers us that we should be most curious about. Like, what was it about the grammatical makeup of the way that you wrote that, or the grammatical makeup of the sentences, you know, the structure that triggered that person in that moment? Like, did you trigger like an old breakup from high school? Like, oh no, like I never got my mixtape back from Ann in like high school. Like, you just wonder like what that was for that person.
It's super funny because Gideon, have you seen my magic email?
Which no?
The should I stay or should I go? My breakup email.
I don't. Maybe I've seen it.
Let me find it
in the group.
Yeah, I posted in the group before, but I'm gonna find an example. I'm gonna read it.
Is that like the should I stay or should I go now?
Yeah.
Song, like
I use a lot of song lyrics in my email type subjects.
Oh, that's so good.
People recognize them and open.
Yeah.
Like,
That's really smart.
I have a professional copywriter that I work with. Okay, the guy makes probably more money than me. My open rates are like 4 times higher than his.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
We A/B tested
nice.
his same exact email copy, just the subject line.
Isn't that funny? Because like all you have to do is just be personal.
Well, and it's just like,
and everybody thinks copywriting is hard.
Half of my email, and I can't write an email like this one email. And this email I stole from HubSpot. So I stole this from HubSpot like 5 years ago. So the email is, should I stay or should I go? And it's, hey, John, I've tried to reach you a few times to get you set up with a Rock Referrals account, but I haven't heard back, which tells me one of 3 things. 1, you're all set with referrals from your best customers. I should stop bothering you. 2, you're interested, but you haven't typed get back and chat with us yet. 3, you've fallen and you can't get up. And in that case, let me know. I'll call someone to help you. That person didn't like that email.
That's funny.
Complained to my boss about it. 2 days later.
Oh my God. What did they complain about?
That it just was an unprofessional email. I'm like,
of course they didn't specifically say which part, right? They're just like, oh, I fucking hate this email. All right,
dude,
it's because I actually fell and I couldn't get up and I can call anybody.
I have a better part of that. 2 days later, somebody responds. This is the funniest email I've ever had, even though my dad just fell and we had to hit medical alert with him.
They had life alert.
Yeah, had life alert, and and that guy, we ended up becoming really good friends because he got my sense of humor. Yeah. Even though he had the actual thing happen to him with a loved one. People are just goofy.
It's hilarious, man.
And
that's what you can't rationalize.
Yeah. Have you guys read the book Hug Your Haters?
No.
I don't think I want to.
It's a fantastic book if you're in customer service, and I'd say like most people are in customer service nowadays.
Yeah. But I think I would hate it.
I think you would love it, Gideon, because it's taking all of your frustrations and your struggles, and this guy just puts it into all these different case stories, and how it's brilliantly written. And it's extremely practical and very real. And it's a great sort of like go-to guide for like dealing with like everyday shit like this.
All right.
And one of them he talks about in one of the airline. I was one of the major airline companies. I was the vice president of the CEO, the president of the actual company. There was a customer complaining about the little things right out in terms of the airline, and they just. Basically, the president of the airline responded with like one line and was just like, we'll miss you. And that was it. And it was just like the most boss response ever. But what it showed is that this company was not afraid to, stand firm with what they believed in and their values.
I would probably love it.
Yeah. What they did not stand for was like somebody, berating and criticizing and being extremely negative over the air on like a Facebook or like a social media review post or something like that. It was like a Yelp thing or something like that. And they were like, we don't stand for this. And like, we're just going to basically lovingly say goodbye. And the president of the company responded and was just like, we'll miss you. That was it. Like, thanks, bye.
That's okay. I'm definitely going to get it. I just put it in the chat right now so that we can just have like,
check it out. It's called Hug Your Haters. Fantastic book. Changed the way that I dealt but how I managed and I dealt with like, unhappy customers.
I just added it to my shopping cart.
Yeah,
Amazon.
same here. I did the same thing.
Yeah, so I've got a pretty funny story about that too. We've got Rock Referrals. We've got all these key features that bring all of these components together to do the things that we tell customers we're going to do. And we had one customer who just absolutely wanted us to change our core component of our product, our Net Promoter Score survey email. He wanted it changed and said, if this doesn't get changed, I'm going to cancel. And he said this in our private Facebook group for customers only. And our CEO said, let's get on a call so I can walk you through canceling your account.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
And
I fucking love those stories, man.
It's just like, even
That's it.
I think even if we didn't have thousands of customers, I think even if we had 20 customers, I think our CEO would be like, you're not going to hold us hostage over a feature that is our core, like one of our core tenets of the product. If you don't like it, go to another product.
Yeah.
You know what I see with that, and again, I'm pretty sure the author of Hug Your Haters talks about this. It's like how you respond to someone publicly is how you're responding to everyone.
Yep.
And the fact that he responded that way publicly is responding to everybody else. They're showing everybody else how they handle this sort of situation. I think it's super important.
Yep. And it sets the like not the expectation or the tone for the account managers who have to deal with customers on a regular basis, but it gives them the cover to understand what they need to say and do with customers who are difficult, who are trying to hold us hostage because they don't like one thing. Like everything we have is customizable to a point, because turn it off. You don't like it, turn it off. I mean, you're not going to get the full benefit of the product, but everything we do is all some or none. Every feature in our product catalog can be turned off or modified to an extent. And you don't like it, turn it off. And that's what we taught the account managers through that response.
Yeah. We've done the same with our Facebook group, our Facebook page. Like we've got some reviews on there, and obviously we have some trolls, like people that live in like, I don't know, in parts of Africa that are just like leaving reviews, 1-star reviews, and we're like, you know, how we choose to respond to these people publicly is really important. Because we're like, hey, you know, we're really sorry that our service, or you were unhappy with our service. Like we've been trying to reach you, but we can't seem to find your information in our database. Like,
dude, I've had so many reviews like that.
A few months later, and we'll just just to show everyone else, like this is probably not a real interaction we ever had. It's just
I've had like so here in Vegas, right? So like our store is called A+ Cleaners, right? And we're dry cleaners, but there's another place called like A+ Laundry, and it's like a laundromat, right? So it's like, okay, whatever, dude. Like I got a letter in the mail. It's kind of like one of those like BBB letters where it's like, hey, this customer complained about this and this and this, right? And I was like, wow, that's really fucking weird, because like, you know, I go through our database, I'm like, I can't find his name, I can't find his phone number. You know, I was like, who is this guy, right? So I go online and I was like, I just have a hunch, you know. So I type in like A+ Laundry, right? And I find this other place that's like, you know, 20 miles away from us, right? And I was like, okay, he's probably talking about this place because this place has horrible reviews.
Yeah.
Right. So I call this guy, and I was like, hey man, my name's Gideon. I'm the owner of A+ Cleaners. Is now a bad time? And he's like, oh, thank you so much for calling. I was like, no, it's not a bad time. He's like, you know, I really appreciate you asking, and this and this, right? And he starts going on and on and on and on and on, right? And I did this after hours, after I closed the store, right? Because I was like, this is probably gonna be a long conversation. And he's just going on and on, and I didn't interrupt him, right? I just waited till he got done, and I was like, okay, hey man, just real quick, I just want to confirm with you. Where is the store that you went to? What's the main cross streets? And he's like, Charleston and Maryland or some shit, right? And it's like, you know, 20, 30 miles away from us. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's actually not our store. We only have one here on Ann Road in 95. Do you think possibly it might be? He's like, I am so sorry. He's like, I got the wrong address. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's cool. Whatever. Right.
Just call it BBB and tell him.
Yeah. I was like, he's like, I'm going to totally retract that. Da, da, da. I was like, thank you so much for calling. And I was like, yeah, it's not a problem, dude. Like, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Dude, like we get like stupid reviews on Yelp. Dude, I fucking hate Yelp. Yelp is like a cesspool of just people who want to bitch, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at our Google reviews, like fucking 5 stars, right? You look at our Yelp reviews, it's like 2.5, right? It's because just pissed off people, right?
Yeah. Well, I've always part of our product is getting reviews. It's part of the funnel of we get reviews but it's one of the end products of good relationship with your customers is good reviews and social proof. And our customers will often be like, "Well, what if I get a bad review?" I'm like, "Call them."
Ask
we can link that review to a contact in your database through our software. Pick up the phone and call them, or publicly respond and show some empathy. Like, well, what do I say? I'm like, oh, well, here's a whole list of things you need to do. But that's hard. Well, business is hard.
God damn it.
Or right now, Google reviews are being basically they're being like the number of reviews is down, way down, because they just don't have
really?
Yeah, Google reviews are they're prioritizing towards health-based businesses like doctors and stuff like that, hospital stuff. So right now our customers are all freaking out because they're just not getting as many reviews as they were, say, a month ago. I'm like, okay, so what are you doing? Like the process is we ask for an NPS survey. We, if they score a hot 9 or 10, we ask for a testimonial, and then we ask for a review after the testimonial, and the NPS survey happens. I'm like, so what do you do between the time somebody leaves a 9 or 10 and a testimonial and before they get the Google review? Well, nothing. It's like you just did 2 big asks. What big thing are you going to do for them? Well, what big thing do I have to do? I said, call them, have a conversation with your customer.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that a difficult thing? Like, I can even teach you how to automate, how to build a call list of who you need to call next. Like, it's built into the software.
Yeah, and you guys make it super easy. So it's like,
we tell you who to call, when to call, and how to do it. And we even give them scripts on what to say. And they're like, well, I just want to call my unhappy customers. I was like, well, if you don't call your happy customers, they're not going to stay happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Nick, do you have access to the chat?
Here's a crazy idea. Call your happy customers and find out what would it take to make them more unhappy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just gonna grab another coffee, guys, real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Nick, do you have access to the chat? Is that like on your window?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you put in your you got like a referral code or whatever to like Rocket referrals or
I can't look it.
something that links to you.
I can't leave a chat.
You can't leave the chat? Oh. They're gone. And I'm all alone. Last thing. Oh, there he is.
I can't.
Hey.
I can't post the chat.
No?
Oh, I can leave. Well, hang on.
Can you type in the chat? Do you have access? How does that work?
Chat with hosts and other guests. So that's all I. Oh, so are you talking about in the YouTube chat channel?
What? Yeah. Go ahead, do that.
All right, guys. Got to have your mask on, man. Whenever you go up to the bar here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So one of the cool things we're building. Tori hit us up Friday night at about 11 o'clock. Tori's my CEO. And he said, we want to build an app to help connect people who are making masks to people who need masks, non-medical people. So
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'll drop that in. So it's literally. I had to turn Slack off tonight because it was so busy during the devs were working on it. So it's called Mask Help. And it's a really cool thing. So we're connecting people who are making like cotton or cloth masks at home with people who maybe don't need an N95 mask, but just need a mask to be able to go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Oh shit, dude! I'm gonna sign up for that because I got a seamstress. You know, she's making masks, and it's like, well, I can't sell them at our store because we don't have a sales and use tax license.
Yeah.
So I can't physically sell products, but
this is
if she wants,
she wants to give them. So it's basically if you want to give masks away, but we're also trying to connect people with inventory of things with people or people who want to donate to mask makers to buy stuff. I just put it in there. It's called maskhelpers.org. It's literally like I'm pretty sure they're running all of that stuff. They're doing all of the fancy smart people stuff.
Did it go through? I'm not seeing anything.
It's in the chat on YouTube. Did you see the? Hang on. I posted it there.
Because I see my chat.
Oh, the live comments.
Yeah. Because I'm not logged in, I don't think I can do a live comment. But I did post it in the YouTube channel or the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm not seeing it. Just send it to me later on Facebook, and then I'll see if I can try to just put in I'll put in the description later.
Yeah, they're both in the top chat on YouTube. But so that's not like towards like we build software. What can we do to help? And he was like, let's make an app. Let's make a web app. And went from idea to if you go to maskhelpers.org right now, it's still
maskhelpers.org.
Yep.
Mask helper or helpers
is with an S.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Site can't be reached.
What? www. We got a domain issue.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I submitted that bug a couple hours ago.
Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. There it is.
Yep.
All right, I'll put that in the chat right now.
Yeah.
All right, you see in the chat?
Yep.
Okay,
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a kind of a problem. Yeah, literally, Tori was like, "Let's do this," and we're like, "All right, get us the assets we need."
That's really interesting, man. That's really cool. Like, take. Okay, so here, I guess this is kind of like our ending topic, right? It's like, dude, like I talked to so many people who like lost their jobs, or they're furloughed, or just plain laid off, right? And it's like, fuck, like, and even I'm thinking like for myself too. It's like, okay, well, we still have the cleaners. We're considered essential business, and it's like we're still operating, but we still took a hit. But like, what else can I do? So I think that's like really interesting. Like as a software company for you guys, like making that connection, Yeah. And it's not even like a monetized connection, which is, whatever, right? But it's like, dude, that's awesome. Like you're connecting two different groups of people who need to be connected with each other.
Yep. And
you guys kind of like did that. You guys are the link to that. So I think that's really cool, man.
Yeah. Well, and I think anytime your intent is to help people, you're going to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just sometimes it takes a really long time for that success to happen. And what's your actual version of success?
Right. So okay. So let's just say for a lot of people, they don't
want to get their electricity turned off.
Yeah. They need money, right? They need an income. Like, do you guys have any thoughts or ideas on how people can start generating ideas on things that they can do in this time?
Right now, like I'd be signing up for Instacart. I'd be going out and trying to like whatever you can to make a few extra bucks. Like Instacart's probably not. If you're health compromised or someone in your household is immunocompromised, it's probably not the best option. But it's something. There's I don't want to mow my grass right now. If somebody knocked on my door and said, "Hey, I'll mow your grass for $40," I'd give them $220s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's maybe have to get out of your own head, get out of your own comfort zone. If you're needing to make money quickly, there's all kinds of. The gig economy doesn't just mean signing up for an app. He's knocking on your neighbor's doors and go, "These are the things I can do. Can I do them for you for money?"
All right. That's a really good point. Yeah, if you have like a service type of business where you can like actually do something at their house, right? Like, or I mean, just for that example.
Yeah. Yep. Like, if you're looking at when people say, "Well, I'm going to get laid off," I'm like, "Well, it's time to maybe look outside of what you've been doing for 20 years.
Look at a new skill set."
Yeah. Like,
that's what I've been telling a lot of these people. I'm like, hey, I know you don't like your job right now, or like, you didn't like it before, but now that you're laid off, dude, this is the perfect time to learn a new skill set, man. Like, there's so many free resources to learn a new skill. It's like, I don't know, take the time to learn something, man.
Digital Marketer opened their entire library up for 3 weeks.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna dive into that, dude.
It's too late.
Oh, really? Damn.
I was sharing it for 2 weeks.
Damn it. Well, you didn't share it to me privately.
Yeah. No. So I was like, Digital Marketer opened it up. Not AppSumo. Moz Local, their SEO, their entire SEO academy, they opened up for free. All of these different companies basically gave away an entire skill set. You just had to go do it and go through it and learn. So, I mean, I took full advantage of the Digital Marketer funnel, and I went through their funnel course. It was basically
you get like certifications, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Digital Marketer funnel certification now. I'm like, I already knew all this shit, but now I have it.
Now you're certified. So now actually you're allowed to do it.
Yeah. So, well, I think that's the thing. People they think they have to get permission. Like, I wish when Ryan was saying about how easy it is to start a business in Hong Kong, I'm like, do you know, I live in Iowa. You know how many hoops? If I wanted to start a business, how many hoops I'd have to go through. Like, I had the idea of I know of a life insurance company that is digitally forward. Like, they connect. They have an API. They allow you to use chatbots for qualification and even binding business. And I'm like, oh, dude, I need to do that while I'm home so I can know the life insurance business a little better. I went to go through the whole process. I can't even get a license in the state of Iowa right now.
Why?
Because they shut it off. They shut down the ability to sign up for a test for a license. And the license exam is online. What is wrong with that?
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, boys, let's just throw in the towel right now.
Yeah.
We're done. This isn't helpful to anybody. We're done.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. I fucking hate this shit.
Yeah. So, if you're in marketing, start calling all these local shops and say, listen, I'll help you. You're in my local community. I want to make sure that you're on top of this when all of this comes out. It's going to help everybody around you. It's going to help you. It's going to help your community. It's going to help your small business community. I'm watching all these companies. I'm like, these guys are fucked. These guys are so fucked after this is over. I don't know how they're going to how they're going to keep their lights on right now, let alone if this keeps going. They're talking through June right now. How are these guys going to keep things going?
Think about that, dude. Well, okay, so that's the position that I'm in right now. Where it's I applied for the payment protection plan and the loans and all that ish, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. But if this extends to June, Vegas's economy was based on tourism and the service industry.
Yeah.
Those were the majority of our customers. They're gone. Like all we're getting is metro, nurses, lawyers, and doctors.
And how are
Which-
lawyers essential during right now?
Well, people don't stop committing crimes.
True.
Yeah, so
Criminal
I mean,
defense attorney, but like,
well, they're all doing teleconferencing right now.
yeah,
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 So I don't know. Whatever.
yeah. Like, what can a salon owner do right now? They can sell gift cards and
they're-
product.
Well,
And we talked about this the other day. Like, if you're selling gift cards right now, it's money now, but it's a future liability.
Yeah.
And if you don't account for that right, or you don't have, or you're not going to get that revenue when they redeem that gift card.
Right.
What are you going to do then? So these business owners have to start finding, like, they need start to, like, if you don't have e-commerce or you don't have the way for people to buy from you now and consume products or consume goods, services and goods from you. Like, if I was a beautician, I'd be like, I'll Zoom and I'll mail you what you need to do to dye your hair, and I'll Zoom you with it.
That's funny.
And pay me.
Good. Yeah.
I'm still like, it's still technically like, it might not be legal, but it's still, you're still getting services from it. Like, there's ways to.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. It's a lot of it, like you said, is just you got to get out of your own head.
Yep.
And then stop thinking like, well, why would they want that? You gotta start thinking like, why wouldn't they want that?
Yeah.
And then just call your clients and be like, hey, look, I'm thinking about doing this thing. Like, I know you want to dye your hair. How about if I just send you the supplies and then we'll just Zoom and I'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, will you PayPal me $50 for that?
Yeah.
Instead of paying $300, like, hey, PayPal me $50, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because why not, right? I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? Sit at home and cut your own hair.
Yeah.
Like practice on your dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Ryan, it was really nice to meet you, and I took over the last half of this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's always helpful for me to also hear what's happening on the ground back home too. So
yeah,
insightful. I don't know. Did I answer everything you wanted to talk about, or did we?
Yeah, we covered all the talking points.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, did I ever tell you my idea for a podcast? I have an idea for a podcast. It's a business podcast, and it starts off like interviewing people like Ryan.
Uh-huh.
But it's seeing how long we can go before I take it off the rails. Just see how long before I can get somebody like go Elon Musk on Joe Rogan. Just get him high and just see how long it takes before the conversation just goes completely off topic.
God damn, like I actually want to listen to that.
Yeah, like I want to interview people and just get them baked and just see how long it takes before we get off the topic of what they do and get into the weeds of some weird fucking conspiracy.
The lizard people. Yeah.
Well, it's like Morpheus said in the Matrix, right? Like, you take a red pill and see how far the rabbit hole goes.
Yeah.
Why not just do it here?
Yeah.
Ryan, what about you, buddy? Like, because you're not working right now, right?
Of course I'm working, man.
Well, I mean, like, you're. No, wait, is your store closed down or no? No, did you guys get banned?
Yeah, so the government shut down all public gym spaces about 2 weeks ago, and they've extended it an extra 2 weeks as of last weekend, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So end of April.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah. So we anticipated, we saw it coming anyway, so we'd been preparing a few weeks before that. It was just a matter of time before that wave hit us. So yeah, it's actually been working more than even before that. So I've been it's been some long days, man. But it's certainly been exciting. It's been a time of creativity and a time of really plugging the holes in the ship, so to speak. Of like, sort of realizing like, oh, I guess I wasn't as busy as I thought I was. Like, there are a lot of things to get done, and there are a lot of things that we can build on top of what we have already to continue adding more value to our customers who are on a subscription service.
Like how so?
How so in terms of building more
adding services and what are you guys doing right now? It's like,
so we're all digitized at this point, so we're completely online. So we had already been doing online coaching for a number of years. So I'd say like in that regard, we were much more prepared, considering that a lot of people in our industry were not, and they were just frantically, trying to rush to get online to sort of save their businesses. So for a lot of those businesses, I feel their pain. Like, I can see the struggle they're going through trying to keep their head above water right now. And the reality is I think 20 to 30% of those gyms are not going to reopen. They're not going to reopen. So for us, it's like, all right, we're doing online already. How can we be better? We're already, we've got a private forum already. We're already providing value and sort of like coaching there. How can we be better? So it's just about, again, like, what are the possibilities here? Like, how can we just sort of upskill or like level up what we're doing already, and to continue serving this client? Because our clients right now, they have more reasons to leave us than they do to stay with us, and I'm not cool with that. But I think they have every reason for us to leave right now. We would say like, well, we don't blame you. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of options online, but it always comes down to like, people don't want to work with a business. They want to work with a person, and they want to work with a person that calls their name, that they want to hear their name. They want someone to just be a human with them. Especially right now, people really appreciate hearing from another human being right now. So that's
and here we are,
and that's what we're trying to offer, and that's what we're here to offer. I mean, we'll just, if it's a daily check-in, if it's just a touching base over WhatsApp or touching base over video calls, like, I've heard a lot of good things from what you guys were talking about the last 10 minutes about, just reach out to your customer. If there's a complaint, like, call them. Like Nick said earlier, just call them. I know, crazy, right? The ways we used to do business 15, 20 years ago. Get on the phone, use your mouth, send them a selfie video. Like, you can use this technology to our advantage. Like, reach out to another human being and just connect with them. Contribute in some way. You all have a moral and ethical obligation to contribute in some way to the enveloping of the universe, of the world, of what was going on right now. Albeit that there is a shift in how we're doing business is different, and it will never be the same after this. This disruption is going to go on until the end of the year. Our business may reopen, prior to that, maybe in the next month or two, but things are not going to normalize, at least for the end. I mean, pretty much 2020, like, we're good.
2020 is gone. Yeah.
Yep. So, I'm looking at like, I posted this on my Instagram recently about a quote from Jordan Peterson, like, approximating yourself across time. Like, one of the best and the most reliable indicators you have of like being able to know like whether you're going to get along with yourself in the future is how you're showing up today. Like, a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now. So I want to be able to look back 6 months from now or 3 months from now and know like, fuck, our client stayed with us because the way that we showed up, right? And how we show up right now, and the systems we're building and the things we're building on top of the stuff we already have, that is all going to be additional potential streams of revenue for us, but also potential things that we can run concurrently with our, face-to-face service that we already provide. So I'm looking at this like, fuck, I got a lot of work to do. And I've got a lot of things that I haven't done that I've been putting off. And I've got to just, put my head down right now. And I've got to, work my ass off to do what I need to do. We've got a lot of time. Especially for those people that I find that are like, these are the, the thank God it's Friday people. Like, this is your fucking time. Like,
every day's Friday. Yeah.
Right. So this is your time. Like, so it's pretty black and white for me. Like, there's two types of people right now. Like, there are people that are waiting and and look, I don't know what's going on in their life, and I'm completely understanding and compassionate of those who are really, really struggling right now. And I think for those people, hearing like, oh, this is an opportunity for you to upskill your knowledge and take an online course, it's probably not the most compassionate and like realistic thing for them to hear. They probably just need someone to reach out and just say like, what do you need most right now today?
Yep.
Like, is it someone to help you take your laundry? Like, then, you know, or is it someone to like just help you babysit your kids while you just get a moment to just
Dude, but you know
breathe?
what? Most people don't even know what it is that they need or want.
Absolutely.
So you could ask them that question, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, I want money."
Well, hold on. We're all in sales.
Yeah.
So
that's
instead of asking a
absolutely fine.
question, give them 3 options. Give them 2 options. Hey, can I send a pizza over to your house? Do you need
Right,
somebody to
exactly.
take your kids on a walk, or do you need me to take your dog? Do you need to get out of the house for 20 minutes? I'll wear a mask and a full hoodie and protect your kids. But like, yeah, you know, call somebody up and say, like, call your friend up and say, can I do 2 things, 1 of 2 things for you, or can I do these 2 things for you? Like if you will give somebody an open-ended question, it's like asking somebody, what do you want for dinner? Well, don't ask, because nobody's going to make a decision.
Yeah.
And I think as humans, you know, in my industry, looking at really the basic principles, or at least the principles of what it takes to help a person change psychologically. Like, as humans, we're impulsive fixer types. We like to fix, and oftentimes
men do.
when you're connecting, women too. When we're connecting with other people, and we feel this impulse to want to help, want to fix, and we provide options, we give them solutions. Like, we forget that they are the expert of their life.
Mm-hmm.
They're the expert of their own life, right? But at the same time, like, every behavior, everything that they're doing is a solution for something in their life. Whether they're complaining, whether they're drinking, whether they're not, you know, they're not exercising, they're not doing the things they know they should do. It is providing a solution, whether they know it or not, for something in their life, right? And so sometimes just asking, what do you need right now? What do you need most right now? And then just shutting up and just listening and just saying, like, seeing what they need, and then just going there instead of just trying to fix, but like, this is going to be the solution, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, oftentimes when we try to fix, and something that I try to practice every day in my what I do, when we try to fix, we end up entrenching them deeper in their situation. We end up like taking the shovel and say, here, let me just dig this hole deeper for you. But we don't know that. So even as the fixer type, we need to be aware that often us trying to fix things can deepen, and often deepen the situation and make it worse for them. Okay.
Well, that's like why you said, like, just ask.
Yeah.
Ask first, right? It's like,
fuck, Nick hit the nail on the head, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, you send them a pizza. Like, just take that burden off their plate for tonight to know, like, they're going to have dinner ready for their family, right? Just make something easier for them. And I think that's sort of ties into this philosophy of, like, this jobs to be done philosophy of, like, what are your clients hiring you for? Are they hiring you for laundry? Are they hiring you to help them lose weight? No, they're hiring you. They're hiring you to in some way, like, to connect with them, like, to make their life easier in some way.
Yeah. There's an extension. It's like we don't do dry cleaning and laundry. We save you time.
Yes, right.
Effort.
You know, that's the main thing, right? People get dry cleaning done. Well, one, because, like, you know, it says dry clean, but then the other thing is, like, most people, they're like, I don't iron.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't have time to iron all these shirts, you know. And so people bring in like 50 shirts. I'm like, yeah, you definitely don't have time to iron. Like, there's no ways, you know.
Maybe you should come in every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let me offer you a subscription.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like somebody said. Somebody actually chatted. Do you walk kids? I would absolutely love somebody to come take my kid for a walk. I do it myself.
I think that's Joey, dude. I think that's Joe.
It's 38 degrees outside. It's cold as hell here. So I feel bad for all the kids going through all this. Like, they don't know what the fuck.
Oh, dude, my kids are fine.
Like, I have a 7-year-old who's just needs to, you know, she's got to burn some energy off. So it's like, oh, guess we're doing Beachbody in the living room today.
Yeah.
This is some P90X, man.
Well, they've got a kids program.
Oh, do they? Okay, all right.
Yep.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Dude, my kids
So-
are fine, dude. Like my oldest is 11, my youngest is 8, dude. Like they're just fucking chilling. They think it's like a fucking spring break, like a never-ending spring break.
Mine Thursday night she had a meltdown. She's like, Dad, I miss my friends. I'm like, I bet you do. She's a social butterfly.
Well, okay, yeah. She's the only child, right? Or
she's
no,
my youngest. Together, my wife and I have 4 kids. Each of us have 2.
Oh, and she's like, are they like not
No.
socializing with each other?
I mean, they're socializing together, but it's like, what 11-year-old wants to hang out with the 7-year-old? Like, this 11-year-old girl has
I got
11-year-old
you.
girl has a whole different world than a 7-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So, like, she can only do so much iPad. She can only paint and do Play-Doh, and like, I got to get work done. So I'm like, I've been having to block time and be like, okay, we can paint for 30 minutes. I don't have any meetings, and like most of my job is like I spend most of my time in meetings. I don't actually do anything anymore.
Oh, you're living the dream, man.
Yeah, but
I think about that in terms of like the kids who are growing up in this time right now that are being shaped by this pandemic, like this sort of Generation C, like Generation Coronavirus, right? Like they are growing up in a bad recession, and we saw what happened with this pre-World War II. Like people, even people, kids that weren't even born yet, that were literally in the womb, like 3-4 months in, like how that hardwired, encoded. It's like encoding your own software, and then like what happens to the hardware? Like you've got to go through the hardware system. Like you saw that in pre-World War II studies where they were like because they were just raised in famine. They were raised in periods where like there was just a global sort of panic, and that sort of fused into the genetic makeup of who they were. So I think I think about that, like in terms of what's going to happen down the road. What are we going to see down the road for this like Generation C? Like how is this going to blow up for them? Financially, emotionally.
My grandma was crazy. Dude, when she passed away in the mid '80s, we found probably $200,000 in cash in aluminum foil bricks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All over our house.
Yeah.
I'd bet if whoever owns that house went and dug up the space between their house and the lake, they'd probably find another $100,000.
Yeah.
And
as a millennial, this is the second downturn that we've experienced, right? This is the second one for us. But I think in terms of like, Gideon's kid, your kids, I don't know how your kids are like that. Like this is, they're growing up in this. This is very different to what we experienced. And I think that I look at like, our parents, they have more of a sort of a financial base to sort of buffer this. But, I think I just read a recent survey, like 52% of millennials right now have already lost their job. They've been furloughed. they've had their hours reduced. Like it's fucking hard out there, but it's going to be even harder, I think, for our kids.
Yeah. Oh, there's every morning I wake. I'm so thankful my wife and I are in the position we're in. She's an insurance adjuster. She's got, people are still wrecking their cars and burning their house down. So, and I'm, my job I could do it in Hong Kong. So it's, I can build Zapiers and write email campaigns and do mix maxes anywhere in the world. So I am so thankful I'm in the position I am now, and where compared to when I was in commission, like when I was selling radio advertising.
Yeah.
I'd be fucked because I was spending it just as fast as it was coming in. I was making good money, but it was going out just as fast as it came in.
Yeah. Well, like Ryan, like a lot of our friends here in Vegas, dude, like they were still bartending and working in the service industry.
I think my sister,
their jobs just gone, dude. Yeah. That's insane.
It's awful, man. I know it's awful, and especially as you mentioned at the beginning of this call, like our industry or Vegas relies on that, on tourism. And I see
our comedy's
out here that rely on it. Yeah,
we're done.
It's really difficult, man.
Well, we like every trade, because about half of our trade shows that our industry does is in Vegas, and it's just like they just keep postponing them. I'm like, these poor.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, this guy. I had this customer, and we had him. He was a longtime customer. He's from like Eastern Europe or something like that. Heavy accent. Like he looks like he was always getting into fights because like he just his knuckles were just always like bruised and red, right? I think he was a waiter. And then I didn't see him for a while, for like almost like a year, and then he suddenly came back like 2 months ago, right? And I was like, "Hey, dude, what's up? Like, where you been?" And he's like, "Oh, I moved to Maryland for a little while, da da da, this and this." He's like, I quit 4 jobs there, and he's like, I came back to Vegas because I got an interview here. He's like, oh, I'm so happy. And he looked really happy and healthy, and like he stopped fighting or something, or stopped taking drugs. And I was like, oh, dude, that's so awesome, man. Good for you, dude, right? And then 2 weeks later, we got shut down. And he comes in, dude, not to pick on the guy. Like, I feel so bad for him, but he just comes in and he's like, hey, guys, what's new? And I was like, nothing, man. Like, how are you doing? He's like, oh, it's horrible. There's no jobs. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, here, I'll take care of your cleaning for you, man. It's like, I felt so bad for that dude, man. God.
Oh, I know, dude. I know if my dad was still alive, he'd be doing basement haircuts right now.
Oh yeah, dude. What's stopping you? All these haircuts.
There's no inspectors. They're furloughed.
Yeah. I don't.
Dude, it's really going to be the Roaring '20s. We're going to have speakeasies. Everything's going to be an underground economy.
Yeah.
It's already happening now. We're already seeing since the bars shut down. It's now I think there's penalties, or it's illegal now to serve alcohol. I think it was about a week and a half ago it happened. You're already seeing like these big police shutdowns of like these speakeasies that are. Because I'm like, we're in the fucking prohibition era all of a sudden. Like this is crazy. Like, you guys want to read? If you guys want to read an absolute mind fuck of a book, read The Fourth Turning. Everything is cyclical, and as you said, like, I heard about that. All happening again. It's been like happening for millennia in terms of this sort of cycle, and we're literally in the crisis phase, the fourth turning of like this is meant to happen, and it's happened for millennia, and it's gonna continue to happen, and it's how we sort of like hunker down right now and prepare for this sort of time of reemergence and rebirth and whatever it is. It's going to be it's a really, really interesting read, but it's written by the statistician, right? Like this guy who just like he just looks back at history and a lot of the statistics and like where we are today, and it's pretty compelling stuff. I'm
gonna have to read through. I just pulled it up. It was published in 1997.
Yeah.
I want to see how accurate he was.
I want to say the first one. I want to say the first edition he wrote in 91. I want to say, or but. He's like, oh yeah, like 2020, you're going to see a mass crisis, and it basically, it either happened before that or a little bit after, but nothing later than 2030. He's like, oh, 2020, that's interesting. Like here we are, and he's writing this in 91. Like, oh, okay.
That's crazy. Yeah. Everything is cyclical. It's just a matter of we just add technology to the mix.
As he's saying, the ancients respected this. They sort of lived their lives, following this more cyclical approach to life and our rhythms of how we eat, how we sleep, how we move, how we connect. There are times, of the year where seasonally where we just go inward. We don't want to be around people. We're like, fuck other human beings. I just want to lock myself away, and I want to, be with my kids or just, draw with crayons on coloring books for maybe the winter time, and then come out in the spring. Like this is what he's arguing. This is what a lot of and there's a whole science to this. Like TCM understands it. Traditional Chinese medicine understands this. A lot of parts of the Eastern world, in Asia and India, they understand this. And in the Western world, we have adopted this more linear time. I guess what's the word I'm searching for? Well, we see things in a linear sort of
fashion.
Yeah, thanks, Gideon. And because of that, we just think that, oh, this is just how it's going, as opposed to like, oh, this is actually meant to happen. How can we prepare for this? How can we best embrace this time versus sort of fight it?
Yeah, I don't know. I look at this as an opportunity. I don't see it as being a bad thing. I mean, it sucks that, you know, people are dying, and I get that. I understand that. But, you know, if there's something that you can do personally, if you're still up and mobile and you still have, like, you know, most of your brain cells, like, you know, try to look at this as an opportunity to where, like, dude, like, I'm buying stocks now. Like, I've never been into stocks before, and I'm doing like so much research on it now. I bought a few shares. Dude, so far it's doing well. I don't expect it to, like, you know, nothing anytime soon, right? But I'm like, oh well, you know, I never thought about buying stocks, and I was like, now's a good time, you know.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you know, expanding my skill set, so I'm looking into like other things, and like just trying to connect with other people, and like okay, well, for example, like this show, like I never would have done this show if this pandemic didn't hit, because I was like, I never had a need or felt a need to, and then it was like, let's try to help other people out there, right? Like in the best way that we possibly can, which is like just sharing our knowledge, right? And here we are.
Yeah. So have you seen the company Todd's working with? Todd June, Zeotag?
No. I don't really follow anybody in the group anymore, man.
Okay. He's got a product, and his product inspired me because you remember Hustle Condition, the web show I did. With Ken. I've been like trying to figure out a way. I'm like, I need to do something that's outside of rocket referrals, because that's just how my creative part works. Mm-hmm. And Todd's like, I can get you a WordPress version. And so basically I've been indexing every great motivational speech, speeches based and TED Talks about different business topics, all of these things. And I'm building a library. And that's like, I got to do something with this. So that's what I'm hoping end of month. My goal is to have 100 different topics indexed and tagged so people can basically see all of these things and get a hustle going.
Oh shit, dude, let me know, man.
So it's like, yeah, just do something.
Yeah.
Do something.
Do something productive. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, otherwise I could sit on my couch and get baked and just not get.
Did you guys see the
periods of that?
The dad who was he was literally sitting in front of his stove, popping popcorn kernels one at a time. So like just a cast iron skillet with the oil in there. He put in one kernel and it'll pop, and he grab it like a tongs and he grab it up, put it in a bowl. And I was like, and then like the caption was like day 19. My dad's popping popcorn one at a time. And I was like, oh my God, like. But then you see a lot of people, right? It's like they get so wrapped up into their identity with their jobs, right? Like their job is who they are, right? Yep. It's like when people ask me like, "Oh, what do you do?" It's like I don't say like, "Well, I'm a dry cleaner." It's like, "Well, I run a dry cleaning business, you know, and I do copywriting, and I do this and I do that." It's like, but then some of these people are like, "Well, I was a stylist. I was, you know, a bartender. I was a server." And that's their entire identity because they've been working there for so long, and they're like, everything's golden. I have seniority. Well, not after COVID. You're knocked down to the bottom. Like,
yeah. Well, and like, everybody, most American men lost their escapism.
Yeah.
Sports, they're watching replays.
Oh shit! I already know what happens in this one. Yeah.
Yeah, or like I was like, dude, why isn't ESPN going and buying every esport property they can?
I know, right?
People will watch whatever you put on the TV. Like they're watching the replays of the Masters right now. Dude, I'd rather watch Fortnite than watch golf. I'd rather watch Fortnite players than old golf, especially.
Yeah.
Like, why are these companies like innovating? Like they have an opportunity to innovate their product and improve their consumers' experience. But no,
I think we both
they're
know
gonna
why.
replay the fucking Masters. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we can speculate, but you know, it's. I mean, it. It's like trying to tell your grandpa to like stop yelling at the kids to get off the lawn. You know, like
stop using the N word, Grandpa.
yeah,
Not cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the main thing people should be taking away from all of this is just, you know,
Dude, I think you should just be focusing on yourself.
Well, take a step back and look what's important in your life, dude. I've got, you know, paintings from my daughter that I never would have gotten done because we're always running around and busy, and or getting to like take a break in my day and go sit down and read a book with her. Are people taking advantage of that? It doesn't have to be leveling up. It doesn't have to be learning a new skill or a new hobby. Like I needed a hobby desperately 9 months ago. I didn't need one this month. That's not, but looking where you're at and being thankful for what you can do right now, I think is how people can mentally get through this.
See, I think the opposite. I think you should be focusing on yourself. I think you should be leveling up. The way that I feel about things is like, if you can't help yourself, you can't help others. And if you're not, don't get me wrong, I enjoy family, right? Right. But I think like if I'm not able to somehow be a better person and things like that, like, and you guys can say whatever you want to say. It's like, well, you can be a better person or a better dad by, you know, spending time with your family and your kids and things like that. Like, okay, great, fine. I get that, right? Now I spend time with them. But for me, it's like, if I can't help myself, then I feel like I can't help my family, right? So it's like, if I can't keep mentally sane and like working on something that's going to, you know, eventually kind of help us sail through this whole pandemic thing, it's like, well, then I don't feel like I'm really helping anybody, you know. And I feel like I need to help myself and my family first, you know.
It goes back to what Ryan was talking about. Where you are is what is important.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm secure in my job, so I'm like, I'd rather get the work done that I need to get done, get through my meetings, and hang out with my kid. And when my kid is 20, they'll remember the time Dad spent reading books and laughing and having a tickle fight. And that's more important to me now than learning a new skill or starting a new business or starting some side project that is just going to take away time from everything else. Now, if you could do it and like doing this web show, I mean, I'm going to be laying in bed watching Bosch anyways. Why not?
Yeah.
So
no, I think what you said is important there, Nick. You know, about how we're showing up right now, you know, for our kids. Like, it's also the same with our customers, right? Like, whether the people who pay us, who pay our paychecks, is the people who allow us to put food on our table. Like, it's how are we showing up? How are we making them feel supported right now? Because when things reopen, if we're able to reopen, and the minute the people step foot back in the door, like, how are they going to talk about you? How are they going to talk about how you showed up for them when things were tough? You know, it's the same with the kids.
Yep.
I think both of you guys are like, get in your perspective on like, how people should use this time for leveling up and learning a new skill, and while Nick talking about, meeting where they need to be right now, like, they're both right, and I think it's just like,
it's just on the opposite end of the spectrums. That's all it is.
Just, is it appropriate?
It's the same. It's just we're just different.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Exactly. It's just opposite end of the spectrums. That's all it is, dude. It's like,
I wouldn't even say opposite ends. Like, I think my thing is the last 2 years I have focused much more on mental health for myself, and it's thrown through in my career.
Right.
And it's just what is going to be best for you mentally to get you through this? Like I need, like, that's why Hustle Conditions is being revamped, because I was like, I do need something to do to fill that time, because it does drive me crazy to just sit and veg. I've never been one, like, I've never really liked just sitting and watching TV. Like I said, I will get baked and watch an entire season of a show on a weekend once.
Yeah.
But then I also have to go and take a break. I even took, like, I broke my number one rule. I actually reactivated my World of Warcraft account this week because I needed something to do.
Shit. Well,
for myself.
But at least you did it now instead of like back then when this whole thing wasn't going on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so it's like, because that's what I did. I did like 3 times. So
as soon as the order, like, I've already written, like, as soon as the order that we can go back to work and life is back to normal, that shit's getting canceled.
Oh my god, yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
But, like, it's super fun to be able to just go and clock out for an hour and just go grind and just, that's my escapism now.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, like how Ryan was saying, it's like, okay, well we're both right, but we're right for our own reasons.
Yep. That's where we're at.
So it's, it's like, because the way that I look at it is like, look, if you don't have time now to like level yourself up, like, then it's not that you were too busy before, it's that you were just too lazy.
Yeah.
I just mean for those people who, like, they're like, well, I can't go to school, or I can't learn a new skill, or I can't do this, I can't do that because I'm too busy at work and I have kids and this and da. And it's like, no. And it's like, well, now you have the fucking time. So while you have this time, it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with yourself? Well, I still got to take care of the kids. They're being homeschooled. And it's like, dude, that shit's not that fucking hard, dude. I got 3 kids. I'm homeschooling my wife and I are doing it, right? They're all doing online classes. They're doing Google classes, dude. It's like they just go through the motions, man. It's not that. It doesn't take 16 hours.
Well, and it's like, so the whole remote, when our CEO said, we're going remote work, everybody's going remote, nobody's coming to the office, we're shutting this down, come get your shit. I was freaking out. I'm like, fuck, dude, I am so much more productive now that I'm not going and standing around people's desks and like, or chit chatting, or like, I get shit done, and I'm like, oh shit, I hope my boss isn't watching how much work is happening. But like, everybody, like, my wife is much more productive at home because she doesn't have all the office politics and meetings and everything else. And these meetings really can be an email, that kind of thing. It's really happening. Same thing with school. Like, school is done, like, there's so much filler in school. It's 8 hours, so parents can go to work for 8 hours. It's not 8 hours because
they're done in 2.
Yeah.
It's just so funny because you know what? Like, now that all the schools are closed, right? And then what's going to happen afterwards is like all these parents are going to realize, they're like, oh, at least I hope they do. They're gonna be like, I don't think we really need this type of education. The traditional type of education.
Dude, I think there's going to be a lot of kids coming out of this with severe social problems in the workforce.
Oh my god. Maybe not.
Because we don't see that already.
Right. Well, I think it's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
It's just going to amplify the bad behavior. It's like anything else. Like, Snapchat doesn't cause teen girls to send their tits to teen boys. It's just an easier way to do it. It just amplifies the bad behavior. It doesn't actually it isn't the cause of it. It's just amplified. I think that
we can get to a whole other conversation regarding that little spiel right there. But I get what you're saying.
Like my 7-year-old breaking down because she can't hang out with her best friends, and it's for her it's even tougher because I live 45 miles away from where her mom does. So like she can't even do like play dates during normal times because I have to drive all the way to Des Moines and hang out for 3 hours while she hangs out at her friend's house.
Yeah.
So for her, it's even tougher. But like right now, nobody can have play dates. So, and explaining that to a 7-year-old, it's like we can't go to this play date because there's a virus.
You will die.
Yeah.
If you hang out with your friends, you will die. That's pretty much just fucking lie to them, dude. Just I don't know. It's gotten me pretty far so far.
Yeah.
Just lie.
Just lie.
I give them as much truth as they need.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. Yeah. And then you fill in the rest with lies.
Just like
oh shit! I did not mean to do that. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that was cool. Whatever that was, little pop up.
Yeah, you can pop up people's comments. So like I pop Joe's comments here. He's like, do you want me to walk your kids? Classic. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Joe. Pleasure having you. I hope you're still watching. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Watch Bosch?
Yeah,
We were
Yeah, I
entertaining Bosch. I just finished season 5. I'm kind of pissed.
I don't watch TV.
Usually, like my wife likes TV, and she'll usually fall asleep watching TV, and then I just keep watching the shows I like.
Yeah.
But now that I have
All
a
right.
project to work on,
All right. Oh, so Joe says he's gaming and listening to us.
Nice.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
what are you playing, Joe?
It's good to see that you are doing well. RL. What's RL?
Yeah.
Real life? He's playing real life. He's doing it better than the rest of us.
Rocket League.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Rocket League, huh? Yeah. Yep. Hit it on the nail, Nick.
Yeah,
All right, guys. We're coming up on 2 hours. How about let's some closing dialogue and like what everybody's doing or what you guys are up to or like any projects or anything like that. And then if you guys want to plug in your own little thing, websites, any upcoming webinars or anything like that. Ryan, do you want to start?
Sure. God, closing thoughts. I guess I'll just sort of recap what I heard from you guys, and I think sort of maybe summarize it up to like an action plan, something, a small morsel. As I think that's a lot of people, I would guess, that's all they're really able to really digest at this point. But
maybe I'll just clip the last 10 minutes of this video, and that'll be the main YouTube video.
Sure. Why not?
You're
I
the spark notes.
I think it's just, the thing that I find in my industry, majority of my work is, like I said in the beginning, is dealing and really helping people with stress and regulating stress. We live in one of the most stressful cities in the world. And I think anxiety, stress, those are that is the thing that derails us all the time. It derails our ability to link our outcomes to our goals. Like there's a whole field of research in neurobiology that looks at this. It's called stress-induced deliberation to intuition. And without getting into the technical details of it, it basically shows us that when the stress hits, when the hammer drops, we revert to a very habitual, instinctual part of our
that's like
behavior.
security.
So we revert to this whole. It's like switching gears on a car. We completely revert to this different decision making process. And a lot of it looks like Netflix and chill with pizza and chips and Mountain Dew. It doesn't
because
look
it feels
like
good.
It feels good, right? And so what I really like about what Nick was talking about today was like, if we're operating from that place of stress and anxiety, we do not have the ableness. We don't have the capacity to be able to even consider the thought of thinking about taking on a new skill or a course or a certificate or anything like that. So when we're operating from that place. So the message for me is clear. Address the stress. We need to address the stress, address the anxiety. How are you doing that? Maybe it's, again, checking out and just having an hour where you're playing a video game, or you're taking your kids to the park, or you're just doing something to offload and get out of your head for a little bit, like what you were saying, Gideon, in the beginning about getting out of your head. get that stress down, you will have more capacity to be able to take on the things that will level you up, upskill you for your future self and your future customers, your future business. That's it for me. The sort of the short and long of it.
So this week, I got a book on recommendation of a friend of mine. It's called Bumpers. Nick Peterson. It's 51 pages.
Wow.
It's my favorite fucking book I've ever got. You know why? Because it's 51 pages. It's to the point. There's no bullshit stories. It's all the stuff, and it's literally creating bumpers for yourself, like you're in a bowling alley, like you're a little kid at a bowling alley and you suck at bowling. Creating bumpers for yourself to basically just go, you know what? That sucked. That sucked. What did I do wrong this time? And creating opportunities for yourself to just go, oh my God, why did I do it that way? Next time, this is what I need to do for yourself. And finding your pitfalls and seeing where you're at. And it is really it. Where you're at right now affects where you're going to be in the future. The little things you do right now turn into snowballs and just grow into, they can either be good snowballs or they can be bad snowballs. And just your decision of where you're going to go with it. That's probably like, and Gideon, I think we've talked about this before, how bad my ADHD is.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So it's bad. Like I haven't read a physical book in probably 6 years. So to be able to consume a book and take something out of it really quick is, I recommend it for everybody.
That's huge. Okay.
Yeah.
I tried looking on Amazon. Is it on there? I couldn't find it.
It's called Bumpers, and it's Nick Peterson.
Nick Peterson.
NIC. Like I just bought it last week. I got a referral gift card from my insurance agent, and I was like, I'm gonna buy a book. And what else do I have to do?
Okay, I found it. All right, I'm gonna put this in the chat.
Yeah. But like,
that's cool, man. I want to check it out.
I think taken away from everything we talked about today, like setting expectations for your customers up front is probably the biggest thing you can do for everybody, for your business, for your customer, for the people involved in your business, and maintaining those expectations over time. Like you can set the expectations up front, but you have to constantly remind people of what those expectations that we all agreed were going to be and how we're going to get there, what the path is to get there.
That's why I hate people, man. That's
fucking stand people. It's human nature. It's basic human nature.
I know. I just hate it when people are like they alter the terms of agreement, and I'm just like, that's not what we fucking agreed on, man. And they're like, I was like,
But they have to be allowed to, because their situation changes.
No. I mean, not in this case. Not what I'm talking about. I'll talk about it with you later. Once we end the broadcast, I'll tell you what it was about. And it's just really fucking aggravating. Because, anyways, yeah.
All right, guys.
Cool, man. So just I'm gonna end the broadcast. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm
gonna go
for a moment.
Get another one of these when you do that.
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna get a sparkling water.
That sounds so good, man. I need another one. Yeah, I'm gonna end this right now. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Brian, thank you for your time, dude. That's super generous of you. I really appreciate your time, man. Okay, until next week, Monday, 9:00. Nick. Yeah, we'll just try it out. Yeah. Okay.
I'm good. Like I said, I'd just be watching Bosch.
Yeah, that's fine, man. All right, later, guys.
All right, later.
Thank you, guys.